Greetings, friends, neighbors. Steve here, and today is October 13, Sunday, 2024. Yesterday was the traditional day that we called Columbus Day, which commemorates the day that Columbus and his ships landed in the Bahamas in 1492, a long time ago. And now we celebrate it on the second Monday of October, which is tomorrow. So the post office will be closed tomorrow, and banks may be closed tomorrow, and whatever. Federal holiday, anyway. That's okay. And we do these things on Mondays since 1971, I guess, to give people a chance to travel and see the country and so on and so forth. I don't know if anybody can afford to do that anymore, but that's okay. I won't be traveling. I'm not worried about long weekends anymore. Anyway, Columbus was an honorable man. He was an intelligent man. He understood world geography that, unfortunately, most so-called intelligent people didn't understand in 1490s. There was a lot of religious arguing about where the world was in the cosmos and how we were flat or round or whatever. Things that seem ridiculous today. Anyway, he had a vision. I think probably he was led by God in some way. I've read stories that would suggest that, hey, let's find a better way to get to India for trade. That was what he was after. And he finally convinced the King of Spain to finance his trip, and he headed west to go to the east, and didn't realize there was another whole piece of the world that no one from Europe had ever seen or imagined. And he landed in the Bahamas. In 1988, we were blessed with a trip to the Bahamas. We stayed with a friend of mine from high school who had a timeshare there for a week, and he invited us over, and another person paid for our way over. We went over on a cruise ship and came back on a jet, which we had never done either one at that point with our two sons. Anyway, one of the days we had with my friend, he took us out on a tour of the island. We landed in Freeport, Lucaya, it was called back then, Freeport, on Grand Bahama Island. And our taxi driver for our little tour of the island was a woman, a Bahama woman, and I don't think she had a high opinion of Columbus, but that's okay. She was a good tour guide, and she was very nice to us. But when something was mentioned about Columbus, she don't want to talk about that. Well, you know, a lot of bad stuff happened to a lot of people, but Columbus wasn't, I don't think, intended anything bad to happen. Just like here in America with our natives, when the Pilgrims landed in 1620, 120 somewhat years after Columbus, Governor Bradford, one of Thelma's ancestors, had very good relations with the local natives, of which I have an ancestor, Massasoit. Look him up. He was the big chief of the local native tribes there in Plymouth, who was probably killed by settlers later in life. He got pneumonia and died because he wasn't protected, I think. Anyway, most people have not had any ill will against any indigenous populations. We need to get over this stuff. We need to just move on, people. These